Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. We got hosts. And anybody that knows me, I'm not really one of them kind of guys that how some guys come and they talk about we got robbed by the refs and stuff all the time and everything else. And they still cheating for Trae Young, bro. I that was horrible. First of all, the foul Maxey did to foul out was not a foul. It was excellent defense. Then if you're going to call that call that you called for Trae Young and Trae Young sold and missed the free throw, Maxey got hit on the arm when he was going to the basket the last time. Now, Maxey did make some plays. I ain't mad at him. He was trying to push the issue. Him and Toby was carrying us in the fourth, but that the refs took that game, bro. I'm sorry. And another thing that irritated me real quick was Nick Nurse taking Mo Bamba out and putting Morris back in. He tried to do it when the overtime first started, and he couldn't. And Bamba actually ended up getting a deflection, a block, rebound, all these other things.
He was.
And then we put Mark Morrison, and next thing you know, our defense is not as good. So, but I know y'all got it. I know everybody had to see how blatant that was. The refs did us in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little. It was a little bit of up and down game from Tyrese. Like I thought Tyrese play had some phenomenal moments within the game, but it was a lot of things that I was like, yo, because he was missing a lot of open 3-pointers and everything. But I gotta give he had 2 jams in the game that was really nice. Yeah, one.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like this is
that last one was looking like a junior job. Junior job.
That was nice. I had to give him his props. I'm like, you know what? Yo, he actually looked like he's trying to win the game for us. Like he tried to take over. He wasn't deferring to anyone. So I was pleased with his efforts for the most part. But there was times again throughout the game where I thought he was he could have been sharper than me. But I thought also that Nick Nurse he wasted that timeout. That timeout he called that he was a clear foul. So I don't understand why he was trying to use it. To me, you wasted that time because with that Trae Young foul is when you want to actually use that appeal.
Well, the one thing I will say about that foul that you're talking about, the one thing he may have been trying to argue was that Tyrese went straight up. Because remember, it's supposed to be if you're going straight up for a block, then it's like if you're in that zone, and he kind of was, but I wouldn't have challenged it either. I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm putting it, I'm keeping it in my back pocket, and we needed it. Thing is,
Ronell, is this the game you want to say Tobias? You want to say that about Tobias? Tobias was solid this game.
Tobias did low. He was goofy towards the end. Like he had a lot of goofy spells in that game. I mean, he gave us.
Where did you see he was goofy at the end? He didn't even touch the ball. They was just going to Maxey the whole end of the game.
No, at the end of the game, he missed like open layups, like just.
So wait. Down the stretch of that game, when he did touch it, and you just said Maxey missed open layups too and open threes.
And then
so I'm saying,
if you remember,
Tobias still shot over 50% for the night, and this is not me. I'm just saying this is not the game to say Tobias was trash. Tobias, that's even on that one play when he went to go into tech inside and they collapsed. He dropped it off to Oubre, and Oubre hit the mid-range shot. Maxey was kind of running out of control down the stretch of that game, for real.
That was a good play.
I guess Maxey got bailed out a little bit because when he made that first, like he took that first of all, he took that crazy 3-pointer when we was up like a point, and it was a horrible shot. But
with Trae Young did him up.
I think, but we got the rebound or something, and then he got it back and he hit the next one. So it was like he got bailed out for it. But I mean I'm just saying there's many a nights you can rip Tobias Harris. This is not the night to rip him.
I'm not ripping him. I just hate the fact that he got a shot golfed at the end where we kind of needed that point. So I mean,
I wanted to see that over again and see if he got hand contact because they was calling hand. That's even like on the play down the other end, right? When they got the rebound and foul on the initial rebound, they was all over the Sixers' backs. Like they was all running and jumping, and the refs ain't saying nothing, ain't calling nothing. Then when they get the rebound, they call it like that. It was a horrible referee game.
It was, but and going back to like Nick Nurse, the very end of the game, in the fourth quarter, where Maxey had the ball, drilled it down, he did the spin, and then when Trae Young fouled him, because he didn't have that the pill. We couldn't do nothing about it, but it was a clear foul. If you saw it, you could clearly see that he was fouled at the end. He should have been shooting too. The game should have been over. Should have never went to overtime at
I
all.
agree. I agree.
So it's like
They
these
tried
are the
to
little.
walk that man Trae Young to line, and he was choking and missing.
He
So,
was.
hey, Ronell, I'm cool. I'm cool with that. But that's why Tobias Harris is your third best player and not your number 2 and not your whatever. So, all I'm saying, and see, Ron, this is where you miss me when you talk about Tobias. I don't care about money right now. I don't care. I don't care if somebody's overpaid. That's all I care about is how the team is structured and guys play now. I don't care where nobody was drafted. I don't care how much they're getting paid. I don't care about none of that because that's not affecting us right now. What affects us is the play on the court. So I hear y'all and I understand. I know why everybody hates Tobias because he gets that big contract, and I agree he's not worth that big contract. But Tobias Harris was not the reason why we lost tonight.
I mean, he gave us 30. I'm not going to be. We do need defense. Lionel. We definitely need defense. We struggled there,
But that's just like, all right, like even when Toby, and then who else was that went to the basket and they got their shot blocked? My thing is, you calling that, but you're not calling a foul there, but you called a foul. Like that foul that they called on Oubre was kind of suspect. When the guy was going in, the Oubre like contested, like, come on, you can let that go. Some of the stuff that they was letting go, now you decide to call that and one when and that gave them, I think we was up 4 and they gave in that and one call. Like, come on, man. The refs was suspect tonight.
But we was. I'm looking. We was up 53. We was up by 4 points with 53 seconds left in the game. You can't lose that game though.
But that's what I'm saying. That's when we was up 4, and then that trash call. I think Maxey might have been when Maxey took the bad shots too. It was one point in there. Maxey took a horrible shot. I think he was going for the dagger, and we didn't really need it. But then when we went down the other end, they just was giving them calls, bro. Like it was crazy. It just was crazy. The calls tonight was crazy. It was almost blatant that they was trying to make sure that Atlanta won this game.
Yeah, I'm looking now. It's our 3rd straight loss. Like we kind of needed this game because I'm still trying to compete with Boston and the Bucks, and it's not. We're not going to get a lot of.
All right, because we don't need Embiid. We all right. We don't need Embiid. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Embiid just in the way. That's all. We don't need Embiid. Yeah, I know.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. That's why we lost 3 straight.
No, we
remember all that hype about we won a game without Embiid in there. We don't need Embiid. All right, yeah.
Last year we went 11-5 without Embiid. So it's a lot. We should be winning these games. These are these games that we should be winning. If
we had Embiid, we smoked them the night if Embiid was playing.
I agree, but even without Embiid, that's why I feel that we need to do a trade. We got to do a trade because we should be able to beat these teams without Embiid, and it should be relatively easy.
Why? That's why you have. I hear what you're saying, but you making it like you making it like we should be able to handle these teams without Embiid. Embiid is what makes us top tier.
And
Maxey is what makes us top tier. So if we don't have Maxey or Embiid playing,
you need a well-balanced team. You can't just have one great player.
You take the top player off of pretty much any team in this. So you tell me if Jason Tatum don't play, you expect Boston to still go out there and put the smackdown on somebody?
Absolutely. When you have a great balanced team, the key is being balanced. If you got a balanced team with your great player, obviously you still need that great player. But if you got a well-balanced team, these teams like Orlando, teams like this, you should be able to still beat them. And
Orlando is not. You making it like Orlando. Orlando is actually a solid team.
I didn't say we couldn't be. That's what I'm saying. We should be able to beat solid teams, even if you don't have a superstar.
If we don't have our superstar, we are only a solid team. We're not a great team. That's my point. When you don't have your superstar, you're just a solid team. Without Embiid, the Sixers are a solid team. They're not a great team without Embiid. They're not a contender without Embiid.
But what I'm saying is, and I agree with that. Like if we were, I don't expect this to be Boston.
Then Boston had Tatum and Brown tonight, and they squeaked by in overtime at home against Minnesota. Like come on, bro. Boston got 16 points in overtime. I guarantee you. I ain't even looking at their stat line. I bet you they got a lot of free throws.
It doesn't matter. You still want to be.
Do.
No, it does. If you're a good team, if you're a championship, if you feel that you're a championship caliber team, then even the teams when you're off and shooting nights, you still pull off those wins out. Even when your superstar doesn't play a game or two, you still want to win most of those games. Not all of them, but most of those games. You're still going to win.
I don't agree with winning most of them. I don't agree with most of them.
You're going to tell me if you're a solid team, like for example, last year we was 11-5 without Embiid. We're not a better team without Embiid, but we still had a great winning percentage without him last year. In the playoffs, when we were in the playoffs last year, we won 2 games without Embiid. We're not a better team without him, but we should be able to win games if he's not there for the most part.
Well, you just said they did win games. They just lost one tonight that they got hoosed.
We just lost 3 in a row. We lost way more this year without Embiid than we have last year.
So who do you blame that on then?
I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's the players, but something needs to change.
So what player would you blame it on then? Because who's supposed to step up and be the superstar in his absence?
Not a superstar, but who's the role player that I expect to step up?
No. If you have 2 stars and one is not playing, the other. No. If Jason Tatum's not playing, they're expecting Porzingis or they're expecting Jaylen Brown to ball out and make the difference.
No, you expect the role players to fill in that extra those buckets for you, role players.
So when Tobias dropped 30 tonight,
Jaylen Brown. What'd you say, Tobias?
Tobias dropped in 30. He didn't fill in that role as a role player.
He did okay. He did. He was solid. He was solid.
Oh my God.
He was solid. I mean, 30 points. That's a solid outing. For him, it was a solid outing.
No, for him, it was an excellent outing. For him, it might have been a solid or a good outing for Tobias or Embiid, but for Tobias, that was a great outing because you ain't expecting to get that from Tobias. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, I agree with the money they're getting paid. You should be, but we know what Tobias is. I'm not right
about the money's not a problem. I'm telling you, the money is not the issue with Tobias. His money is about to come off.
No, you know why I'm telling you the money is an issue? You know why the money is an issue when you make, because you'll sit there and you'll give Oubre big ups, but Tobias has better numbers than Oubre. But because Tobias is getting that big money, that's why people do care. Somebody just said in the comment section about Tobias getting paid money.
Tobias' money is about to come off. It's literally about to come off in the next 5 months. So I'm not worried about Tobias' money anymore. It's no longer an issue.
No, but what I'm saying is I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. But what I'm saying is when people judge the play, when they judge Tobias' play, for the most part, honestly, people are looking at the fact that he's getting that money and playing that way. His numbers are not horrible. But because he's getting paid that contract that was a max for that year, I get it. So I get why we look at it. That's why I'm saying and remember, I felt the same way about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was solid for us before he had the whole collapse. He still was solid. He wasn't as great as he should have been. He wasn't playing on that number 1 draft pick level, but Ben Simmons was still solid. And that's why I said I was cool with knowing with what he was and who he was and the money he was getting. I was cool that he did bring something to the team. In the same way I feel about with Tobias. He does bring something to the team, but he doesn't bring what his paycheck is paying. And I think that's when people look at it. Anytime you say, like I said, people look at Oubre and say, Oubre balled out, and him and Tobias might have similar numbers. No, I can't even call it. I'm not. See, this is why. See, this is what I'm saying. If you listen to what I'm saying, I said the same thing about Ben Simmons. When people were saying Ben Simmons was trash, Ben Simmons was not trash, but for that whole mental collapse. Ben Simmons was not trash when he was getting assists and scoring and playing defense. He was not trash, but he was not number 1 overall. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't playing like a superstar on that superstar level, but he still did contribute. People be getting on the type of thing like, oh, I'll trade him for a bag of balls. I'll trade him for anything. People talk, I'll trade Tobias for what was it? What was the guy? Who was the guy that y'all was hyping to him? The one that used to play in Atlanta that Atlanta couldn't stand and paid him that money because of his playoff run because he dunked on B.
John Collins, he lit us up.
Yeah, remember everybody was hyping John Collins and how great John Collins was? So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. and I'm not opposed to trading Tobias. I'm fine with trading Tobias and upgrading. But don't make a lateral move in my opinion. You don't make a lateral move for a player that's not better than him just because you're tired of him. He's been here. They have continuity. He's been on the team. But if I can make a trade and bring in a severe upgrade, oh, absolutely, I'm doing it.
No, I mean, you keep saying you don't know until that person get in. You just assuming that it's a lateral move, but you don't know that person could fit with our style of play. Like Tobias Harris don't do anything great. He's not a great. Tell me,
he's a role player. He's a glorified role player.
What does he do great? Like we got role players as great shooters, great dunkers, great rebounders.
Who's the role player that's the great? Who's the role player that's the great shooter for us?
What do he do? Like Brock?
I just told you he's not great at anything. I agree with you, but he's not trash.
The boy Bogdanovic, for example, he plays for Atlanta. He comes off that bench. He's a great shooter. He actually got hot in the game and got them back in the game today. He does something great. He's not a great player, but he does something specifically well for that team. Now I'm saying, what does Tobias do very well for our team?
You have different type role players. You have some that are specialists at some things, and then sometimes you have role players that play their role and play their part on the team. Now, I do agree Tobias should be more with the money he's getting paid. I agree. But he's not straight trash.
I never called him straight trash.
Yes, you have. You have multiple occasions. You just didn't say it tonight.
All right.
Mind you, Tim, during this game, Tim is in the chat and he telling us Tobias stinks. Meanwhile, Tobias was playing better than Maxey was at the time.
I mean, like I said, we blew this game. This was our game that we blew. I like Kuzma.
I mean, we saying Tobias down the stretch. Tobias didn't make a stretch down in the. He didn't get the rock. Honestly, he didn't get the rock in the fourth quarter. And Main Money said, "Appreciate you, Main." He said, "Just about every game wasn't there. We got out rebounded." Oh, you saying? I'm pretty sure he's saying every game B wasn't there. We got out rebounded, and I agree. And this is where I had a problem with Nick Nurse. When my bad, that's my dryer going off. My bad. This is why I'm saying why to me Nick Nurse irritated me that he was trying to force the Morris into the game. They were playing fine with Mo Bamba. Let that lineup rock out. Mo Bamba was holding it down in that paint. Let that play out, and he put Morris in. Morris brought nothing in when he came in. He wasn't bringing. He wasn't scoring. You know what I'm saying? He didn't rebound. He wasn't doing nothing. So at least Mo Bamba was playing defense and rebounding.
Yeah, man. The rebounds was kind of split today. We rebounded 51 times. They had 55 rebounds, and same with offensive rebounds. They had 16. We had 13. The disparity wasn't too off. Down the stretch, they made key plays down the stretch. They forced that overtime, and then in overtime.
The refs. You talking about the refs, or you talking about the play? You talking about the refs? Yeah, the refs made key plays down the stretch. I agree. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a bean, and this is why I'm not ripping. Even when Maxey made a couple plays, you know what I'm saying? Like one of them foul plays, he reached it unnecessarily and stuff like that. Certain stuff, I agree. Maxey and Tobias may have made, but the refs dictated this game down the stretch.
I hope MOTC. So you said we hope that we appreciate Joel more. Listen, ain't nobody. Joel is a good player. He's a very good player. So no one is doubting that. We still need better role players around him, though. That doesn't change the fact what it is. And my biggest gripe with Joel is more so. I just think he's too much of our offense at times, and I think that hurts us when the playoffs come around.
So hold on, just real quick. So I want to run this by for everybody that's ripping. Like I said, that's why I said this is not the game to say Tobias was trash, or the other words that people use. Tobias was 7 for 7 from free throw, 1 for 2 from three, shot 12 for 24 overall, 50%, had 4 assists. 10 rebounds and 32 points. And this is the game y'all choose to come in and say Tobias was trash.
You looking at numbers, but we're looking at plays down the stretch where it was like key things.
So you do know down the stretch in the fourth quarter, the Sixers had 16 points, 8 for Maxey and 8 for Toby. That's what it was in the fourth quarter. Until the last couple plays.
What are you doing in overtime?
That's what it was in the fourth quarter. That's in overtime. It was featuring Maxey. We was going to Maxey. But I do agree once Maxey, Toby's not the dude that's going to take over and be the dude. He's not that guy.
Really? No.
No, I agree with that. But guess what? He was on the court. Where was Maxey?
I mean, he found out it was a bogus call. You know it was.
It was. But all of them wasn't bogus calls. And
I mean,
that's all. Listen, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Tobias is this great player. Tobias does not. I don't even know. I actually was irritated when they send you the stuff like vote for all stars. They like, yeah, vote for Maxey, Bede, and Tobias. I'm like, why is Tobias name? Why are y'all sending me something saying vote for the Sixers? Why are y'all telling me to vote Tobias into the All-Star game? Tobias is not an All-Star. Exactly, X-Man. I'm an all-star. No, you're not. Just embrace your role and be the third or fourth best dude on the squad.
I still think something wrong with Oubre though. He just don't seem the same since he actually had that accident.
He ain't have a couple games in there when he was balling fine. And all of a sudden, let's not make excuses.
No, I'm just saying he just has even before when he used to come in. It was almost like he would go for his, like he would maybe get 10 and a quarter or something. Like it was
okay.
Smart.
Well, listen, how about we do this, right? Let's look at Oubre's last few games. Tonight, he was 3 for 11, 7 points. But see, we're not going to talk about how he, as a role player and somebody that we feel should step up, how he could have did anything. But against Utah, he was 8 for 18 for 24.
Go ahead.
Against the Knicks, he played 31 minutes, scored 15, shot 6 for 12, and had 7 rebounds. It ain't look like no card was affecting him that game. Against Chicago, he went 5 for 8, 16 points. But then the game before that against Chicago, he went 5 for 13. Against Houston, 4 for 7. Against Miami, he's 9 for 16 against Miami on Christmas Day. So that's what I'm saying. Don't use excuses for him.
If you're gonna tell me he's exactly the same before the accident. He's just not the same player.
He's still averaging around the same amount of points. He's had peaks and valleys.
No, I see it.
He was hooping in that Miami game. Stop that. Don't do that. Hey, Charlie, who you talking about? Charlie has been inconsistent their whole career.
Joel or Tobias?
He's talking about Oubre, probably, and that's the same thing I said, and I was being ridiculed. Thank you, and I've been saying that, but everybody, I ain't just hating on. It's a reason why your averages are what your averages are. Hey, Ron, Toby wasn't stat padding tonight. You wasn't even sniffing close to that game if he didn't drop what he dropped tonight. Because Maxey was off for a stretch, and then Maxey started cooking. I agree, X-Man, with Trae Young. Trae Young is overrated. Trae Young overrated, bro. Honestly, I'm putting this game on the refs and the refs and Nick Nurse. Because I don't think he should have took Mo Bamba out. Yeah. Mo Bamba at least gave you a presence in the paint. And then on that last play when they scored that 3, and this is why I kind of put it on Nurse too. The way the guy Jalen, I forget his name, got that open 3. The way he got that open 3 was when DeJounte Murray cut in, drove down, and because they didn't have an interior presence. Beverly dropped down to try to stop it, and he left that 3 wide open. If you have somebody in there, Mo Bamba was active. He stopped it when they tried to throw the oop. He stopped that. He got a block. He got a rebound, and then he took him out. This is the game where you should have left Mo Bamba in there down in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Mo Bamba was really playing well defensively. He was on it. He looked like a beat out there. So I mean,
he looked like a beat out there. No, he did not. He looked that. He looked
like a young and beat out there. But no, we missed.
And listen, I like Nick Nurse as a coach, but this was a bad game. This was a bad game for him, coaching wise. With the challenge and leaving Mo Bamba and taking Mo, he just wanted Mo Bamba to jump the tip in the overtime and then tried to sub him out as soon as he should have left him in there paint presence.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have to collapse off of the 3-point shooters as much if you have somebody in there in the paint where you know that they're going to hold it down in the paint some.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, it was a bad joint. MOTC.
Our bench is always going to be for some reason, that's always our Achilles heel is the bench. So that you got to put that on Morey.
So you think our bench is trash?
To our bench?
Yeah.
Well, right now it was depleted because we didn't have Embiid.
No. Wait. I'm asking you. Do you think that our bench is trash? If Embiid is playing, do you think our bench is trash?
Our weakness is we don't have shooting. I keep saying
you're not answering my question. You're not answering my question. Do you think that our bench is trash?
It's okay. It's better than last year. It's clearly better than last year.
Well, the reason I'm asking that is because you just said you put it on our bench and you blame Morey. Morey put our bench is solid. We have a solid bench.
You don't have any shooters on your bench. You don't have nobody that can come in and light it up. You need that in the NBA.
Okay.
You need.
Let me ask you, what do you call lighting it up? What do you call lighting it up?
Somebody who can get on the court and literally bomb away with three. We need some 3-point shooting. We don't have anybody to come in and can literally just knock down threes.
Okay, so let me ask you this: what do you consider a good 3-point shooting percentage?
It's not about somebody.
It is about it because if you're talking about somebody that can shoot threes, we're talking about because it is about percentages. If anybody could go on a one game and light up or something like that.
For example, the Boston Celtics has a really good team that shoots 3-pointers. They shoot that. They go inside, outside, as does Golden State, as there's a lot of teams out there. As a championship
Golden State the championship caliber team.
But I'm just saying they still can shoot.
Are they no. But we worried about being a championship caliber. Or Golden State championship caliber.
So are you telling me that we got good shooting?
And guess what? P.D. Siegel. Yup, Niang was our 3-point specialist last year, and what that looked like. He looked great in certain times, but then other times he ain't do. That's why I'm out on the specialist. If anything, give me a 3-and-D. Pause.
Okay, I'll take.
Give me a 3-and-D guy, somebody that plays defense and can shoot a solid 3-pointer in the high 30s to low 40s.
And that's what you want. But who's on our bench that can come in and do that for us? It ain't Pat Bev.
Well, it depends on who you putting on the bench. Oubre's not, or Batum. Which one of them is coming off our bench?
They neither. First of all, Batum is a starter. He's our starter.
Is Melton okay? So what is Melton?
Melton is a starter. They both starters for us.
That's our so we starting Tobias, Batum, Oubre, Melton.
Oubre comes up right now.
B. That's 6 people. So which one of them is coming off the bench?
Oubre's coming off the bench, and I say he's a scorer. He's the scorer. He's not a shooter. We need shooting.
What's he shooting from 3-point?
How consistent?
I'm just asking because you throwing stuff out there. I'm asking you what. See, this one I get it. We once because when you build a team, you're not going to have greatness at every spot.
But we don't have build it. Where's the greatness at? And especially
our greatness is Embiid and Maxey.
And it becomes an issue when Maxey's off. When Maxey's been off in the shooting lately, so it's really obvious that how much we miss like a pure shooter, somebody that can come in.
Hey, you know what? You're right. Mastercraft just said Seth was fire. He was, but remember, even in that playoff series, when we was playing and Seth was hooping offensively, he was getting lit up against Atlanta. He was scoring like 20 and giving up 25. So again, that's why. What'd you say?
He was in a role that he shouldn't have been in. He should have been somebody that came in and gave us some heat. Like he gave us heat.
He gave us heat scoring and shooting, but he ain't play no defense. That's why I'm saying I'd rather balance players. If I got 2 superstars on the level of Embiid and Maxey, give me solid role players around them. And I'll say superstar for Maxey because I think Maxey is on the precipice of being a superstar.
Like in my opinion, our best roster was the 2019 squad that had Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, Ben.
Oh, you know how I feel about that team. You know, I felt like Brett Brown blew that champion. I thought that was a championship team.
That was a championship college spot. The only reason why we probably lost is because first of all that fluke bounce that what you all had Kawhi had, and also we just didn't have a backup center. I think what was the ball? Greg Monroe. I think he was the backup center for Embiid. Those were our two glaring weaknesses. But that squad was good. JJ was a sniper. He hit big shots. And then you had Jimmy Butler hitting big shots. That was a cohesive. That team right there, and that team only came together that year. Remember, we got Tobias that year.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. Can't even call it. As I recall, Tobias Harris played excellent defense on Tatum for the most part in that series, and he had 30 and 10 tonight. So we talking about rebounding. He had 10 rebounds tonight. So what are we talking about? I'm not saying we still got an echo. It's just me and Tim on here. How's it echo?
It was when I was talking. It was echo. I think it's cool now.
All right, but my thing is, I don't think Tobias is a great player. I don't. I know he's not a great player, but we get caught up. That's like we'll be sitting here like, let's get Caruso. Let's trade Caruso for Tobias. What's Caruso bringing?
I would take I would take Caruso.
What's Caruso's stats? What's Caruso's stats?
I know what I see in him.
You don't even watch Caruso. What are you talking about?
I've seen enough of his play to know that even the Lakers missed him. He's a good, solid role player. Now, that's a role player you can depend on. Somebody's an all-star. You're right.
Oh, guess what? A Ron L. You know who knew Tobias had 30? Because see, like I told y'all, I don't listen to the Philly broadcast when I watch these games. I look at the opponent team's broadcast, and they were talking about we got to stop Tobias, and they was actually even talking about it. And they was like, Tobias ain't even touching the ball. They was like, Tobias ain't even touching the ball. Like, good, because he was doing this, that, and other. So I'm looking at what the opponents are looking at.
They don't know him.
They may not know him, but it doesn't matter what but guess what? And we don't know some of these dudes on the other teams. We don't know some of these dudes. The same way y'all was hyping up John Collins or whatever his name was. John Collins. Oh, he would be great. He this, that, and the other. Where he at? Hey, if I can get Tobias, if you're gonna give me Caruso and DeRozan, see, first of all, you can't say Tobias is garbage and then say give me Caruso and DeRozan for Tobias. Because if Tobias is that garbage, you're not getting both of them players for him.
Unless Chicago decide to tank. Are they tanking?
I think Tobias, I think Chicago actually is deciding to tank.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's a funny thing? Tonight. Was it tonight? When's the 10th? Tonight? Oh, yes, tonight. So tonight, Caruso against Houston is 3 for 10 with 12 points. Against Charlotte, he was 5 points shooting 2 for 7. Against the Knicks, 13 points in 33 minutes, 5 for 13. Against the Sixers, he was 3 for 10, 8 points. That's what I'm saying. These other dudes suck too. Like we hype these other dudes on other teams. Like, come on. Caruso is all right, hold up. And for the season, he only gets 24 minutes, but Caruso averages 9.8 points a game. But this is y'all telling me this is the savior, Caruso.
Yep.
Stop.
You need that gritty boy. You need that gritty player on your team.
Okay. You sound like. Remember when we said when Brett was here and everybody talking about some TJ McConnell, he gritty. When TJ do this and get down and he run around and do nothing, that's TJ the heart and soul of the team.
That was never me when it came to Tobias. I mean,
I know it wasn't.
That was never me. I ain't never fought for him at all.
So what has Caruso won, X-Man? He won it. Was he on the championship team with the Lakers?
With the Lakers, okay. He won a title with the Lakers.
No. I'm asking. Yeah, that's why I thought about it after I asked. He was on? All right.
and they be begging to get him back. They want him back so bad. They really regret letting him go.
Yeah, I mean, I listen. I'm not hating on Caruso on that point. My point is the fact that you're saying trade Tobias and get Caruso and somebody else. I wouldn't be mad at Kuzma. Only thing about Kuzma to me is Toby has a problem with the heart, in my opinion. Kuzma has a problem with the mind, with the head, because Kuzma does a lot of dumb things. But if he on with a solid coach, maybe a solid coach could control it. And
I say
you
he
know what I'm
might be
saying?
able to get coached up.
Because I think Oubre's kind of the same. I think Oubre kind of would get out of sorts at a certain time and play a little reckless. But I think good coaching can check that.
I tell you one thing.
Master Craft, I actually would take Ben Simmons back. I would take Ben Simmons back, but he got to play a specific role. Hey, asked me, but somebody asked me would I take Kuzma or Tobias. I've seen flashes of Kuzma. Any younger than Tobias?
I'd rather have DeJounte Murray. I'd rather have him.
So you think over who?
Ben.
Over Ben, you take. Oh, I think I would take DeJounte Murray too. But are they giving you DeJounte?
I don't know.
See this is the point that I'm making. Again, I'm not saying Tobias is great, but one of the things we talk about, like whenever teams make a trade, right? When we make a trade, we talk about like for example, the point Tim just made when we initially got Tobias and we had Jimmy and stuff like that. All we heard down the stretch, and we had JJ that year too, right? All we heard down the stretch was we gotta get chemistry. We gotta get chemistry. So when you're making these trade deadline trades, that's why I say if I'm gonna make a trade and I'm trading Tobias out of here, the talent has to be an upgrade. Don't give me a lateral movement, because then you give me a lateral movement and you got me a player that has to work to get in the system. I honestly think the best player, if we can make a trade for, would probably be Siakam. I think Siakam would fit. If I'm trading Tobias and I could get Siakam, I'll take Siakam over Tobias.
But Siakam wants a max deal. Are you really? Or do you want to commit to him as a max player right now?
You don't have to necessarily. He wants a max deal. That don't mean you got to give it to him. But I'm saying for this play, even if we talk about for this playoff run, right? So like if we kept Tobias, he walk at the end of the year, right? So my thing is, if I'm talking about for a playoff run, I would take, if I could do a trade and bring in Siakam over Tobias, I'm taking Siakam. And I think Siakam will fit because he does have that defense. And we've seen at times where he can carry a team, a team that wasn't that great. But if I'm making a trade and I can make a swap, I definitely would take Siakam over Tobias.
I agree. I would take him too. Because he is a championship pedigree. He got his title with Kawhi. I wanted KD, but KD said he don't want to be traded. He says he's okay where he's at. He enjoying the grind.
Yeah, he hold enough in his career. He might as well.
Yeah. All right, so that was it. We just want to come on here real quickly and let y'all vent, let everybody vent, because that was a game that I felt we should have won, and then you guys feel the same way. And refs, I do believe the refs gagged us. So, and I do believe Nick Nurse was part of this game for us losing. And Tobias didn't show up like he's supposed to.
I don't think, and I was big on Zach LaVine in the beginning because I felt like I don't know if Zach LaVine fits this team. I mean, would I trade him for Tobias if you tell? Even with that, I don't know because he has big money coming in, and at least with other players, and I think the Sixers are trying to lead themselves in a position where they have flexibility in the offseason. And I ain't mad at that.
But look, Kawhi just signed a 3-year deal. Like these players, Paul George is about to sign his deal. It's like a lot of these players are going to be re-signing in season. So if that's the case, we may be holding out for this big old summer of free agency, and there may not be nobody that's really available that we can get.
You know why I don't necessarily say that. See, you're naming old players. My thing is, who's to say that we can't find a younger player that's like a Halliburton or Maxey, like dudes that's
the younger
I
players.
Hear that.
But here's the thing: the younger players are going to get more money with their teams, staying with their teams.
They may, and they also may not want to be. How about they might want to sign a trade though? Who's to say that? I got to look around the league and see like what younger players are actually starting to ball out a little something that might be on a trash team that might want to. Remember, we had Jimmy. Jimmy could have got more with the Sixers than what they do. Sign a trade.
Jimmy, that was since Jimmy. Who did something like that? Nobody.
What, sign a trades?
Yeah, nobody wants to. People
Harden didn't do a sign a trade. No. Did he? He ain't signed. No, he didn't sign, did he?
Mm-mm. So again, there's what we got to do is we need to do something now. I don't want to waste the season. And Beats had a very good season. Maxey is expanding his role as a starter. We need to make it. We need to make a trade. And we got a lot of chips in there. We got Tobias. We got a lot of people. We got a lot of weapons.
But so you rather make the all right? Let me ask you this: would you rather make the trade now, as opposed to waiting to the trade deadline when you can get a better deal and better value?
We don't know that though.
We don't know what you always get a better value if you wait to the trade deadline.
You're assuming. You're assuming.
You do.
That.
You know why you do? Because teams get pressured. Like if they really trying to get rid of somebody, they get pressured.
Right now, the pressure on is Toronto. They're going to either lose Siakam, so that's one because they tried to negotiate with him in the off season. They don't want to give him max deal. So if you're going to negotiate, that's the player that you want. But you want,
and that's why I'm saying I agree. And see, my thing is if you get a Siakam and you see how he fits with the Sixers. And then you can make that decision, and you got Nick Nurse, who was his coach, who he thrived under. You may get a situation where, yeah, I mean, Morey like the kind of people you might get. Morey might talk to the board and take it a little bit less. We should have had Morey when we signed Tobias. We probably could have got Tobias at a reasonable rate.
Yeah, but you compete with 29 other teams or 28 other teams besides the Toronto Raptors. So you got 28 teams. That may be thinking the same thing. Like, can you make a deal? And then
so do these other 28 teams got the same trade value that the Sixers got with all these expiring contracts?
It's not even about that. It's like you gotta.
It is.
It's gonna be draft picks. Which one is gonna win draft capital?
Sixers got draft picks too, though.
We do, but the matter is, other teams do too. So what are we gonna do?
So what other team? So wait. All right. So, and I get what you're saying, right? But this is what I'm saying, right? If you look at it, what other teams have trade capital but are also contenders and in a position to sign somebody long-term off season? When you start running all those things together, the Sixers are in an optimal position for making a trade. That's all I'm saying. So I'm like, I don't want to necessarily just run and jump and make that trade out of a panic mode type thing. I want to get the best deal I could get out of it. The Sixers got a whole team full of expiring contracts. So if somebody want to rebuild, you could trade expiring contracts and a draft pick if the player is good enough. So I'm just saying nobody else really has. The Sixers are a contender or a contending type team. They have cap space. They'll have cap space in the offseason. They have expiring contracts and they have draft picks. The Sixers are in a good spot to be able to make a trade. I'm not pressing the issue and rushing to make a trade.
But you got the trade deadline is February 8th, so you got less than a month.
Okay.
So at this point, what you gonna do? You gotta do something, or it's gonna be a waste.
Just because we don't hear him talking about it, don't mean he's not doing. You don't tell everybody what your moves is. See, we get so hyped up. We hear trade rumors and this, that, and we get. As a GM, I'm not supposed to let y'all know what I'm looking at and what I'm trying to do because you leave your hand open and let everybody know what you're looking at.
I just don't have as much confidence that you got in Morey because I just don't have it.
Have we had a better bench before Morey?
Before Morey?
Yeah.
But I mean, the bench hasn't led to.
I'm just asking you.
Nothing has led us to an NBA title under Morey.
I understand that, but we're still talking about the team. Have we had a better bench since Morey's been here? Before Morey got here, is our bench better now than it has been before?
To be determined. To be determined. I can't say that. I can't come out there and emphatically say, okay, this bench is so much better. We don't have shooting on this bench. We don't got this great, outstanding rebounders coming off the bench. We got a lot of inexperience, a lot of people that can't shoot And you got
And
like
yet we're still one of the top teams without that. And with our superstar MVP caliber player not playing.
We was third last year, and we were third this year. Third last year, third this year.
Missed like 8 games, and we still there. What are we talking about?
And we went 11-5 from last year. We won most of our games without him last year, including 2 in the playoffs.
We beat up on bad teams. Didn't we beat Boston one time this year? We ain't beat Boston. We lost to Boston.
Oh yeah, we lost to Boston.
All the times we played them, we lost to them.
Yep.
When we lost to Milwaukee by 1, we beat Toronto, we beat Indiana, and we lost to Indiana. So who's the good teams that we beat the Clippers, but I guess they don't count.
Did we play the Clippers?
Yeah, we did beat Boston. We beat Boston with Joel. Yeah, we won it 2 again. We beat Boston once with Joel. We lost to him one time without Joel.
I don't remember playing the Clippers.
You don't remember playing the Clippers?
Yeah, I thought we played them in March or something. Maybe I'm wrong.
See, that's what I'm saying. Don't say we just don't. X-Man, I'm cool with upgrading, but I'm not in panic mode. We lost once to Boston, without Maxey and Embiid. So with Maxey and Embiid, we split with Boston.
Boston, I think they was missing like key starters on
Jalen. They was missing Jalen. Yeah, they was missing Jalen and Porzingis, I think.
Yeah, they was. Come on, stop.
No, they was. I'm not even doing that. And when they beat us, we was missing players.
No, we wasn't. That was the first game of the season. We had everybody. We had the whole lineup.
We played them the first game of the season. At what, Milwaukee?
First game of my season. That Thursday. No, that was Milwaukee. You're right.
Listen, I want to upgrade, and I do think the Sixers will upgrade. But my whole thing about the panicking and I'd rather us be in this position. And for real, in my opinion, we beat Milwaukee. We got hoes against the refs against Milwaukee when they was walking what's his name to the line on ghost calls. So, hey, X-Man, I'm fine with making the play now. Like I said, my thing is if you're going to make that move, because the Sixers are in a position where they can make an excellent move. If you do it now, you can make it. But if you the closer other teams start getting to that deadline and they start having the fear of like Toronto start having that fear of losing Siakam. Right now they like, oh, we got another month. That's what I'm saying. It's a chess match. You still got to look at it because other teams not just ready to give you their best players or give you their good players. They're in no rush. They know they're not going nowhere. They're not trying to win in the playoffs. They're not going nowhere. They're not in a rush.
But here's the thing: if you're not doing, I've been hearing rumors that they trying to negotiate with Golden State, and like they might get the boy that's real unhappy. What's the boy that Kirk keeps benching? I forget his name, but they might trade him directly to Golden State.
So, do you think Golden State will be able to re-sign Siakam?
Doesn't matter. I mean, if they trade for him, Kuminga, that's right. So he's unhappy in Golden State. Now, who's the better value, Tobias or Kuminga?
So let me ask you this though. You're saying that so if you're trading, if you're Toronto, if you're Golden State and you're making that trade, are you going to first of all, Golden State even going to be good enough to compete for a title?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter. If you're renting a player, you don't rent a player to not win. You rent a player so you got a chance to win.
But if they were to get him, they will be competitive. Because you got Draymond is back, everybody is back. They can make a run. The West is not as dominant. No one is really dominant. Think about it. Who's the most dominant team in here? The Clippers. That's it. It's no runaway favorite.
You got Clippers.
Right now.
You got OKC. You got you got the
OKC
Kings.
Is still young. They not going nowhere.
OKC ain't as young as you want to make them out to be. OKC is not as young as you want to make them out to be.
Why not? OKC is very young.
People thought Golden State was young too until they started winning.
You still gotta when young teams don't. Young teams don't win.
You get caught up on it. That's why you was like, because that's why you was like Kawhi re-signed, Paul George. You like to look at the old dudes. Like you got to look at the new wave.
All right, Wayne. Young teams don't win championships. They just don't do that. It don't
OKC is a
happen.
legitimate team, bro. They've been in the playoff.
legitimate.
They have some. OKC has playoff. They have playoff experience. They have a
It's,
superstar in Gilgeous Alexander, and they have other play. You look at right.
it's
You see the
more.
talent they got on that team.
I'm not saying they don't got the talent, but it's a thing when you in the NBA. This is not college. The NBA, young teams don't win titles. They just don't. They gotta go through the wars. They gotta.
I know
go
you,
through
but
it.
you got that from me. I know because I said that a while ago. Yeah, I know.
They gotta go through it. So it's like, OKC, they are legit. They're gonna do something, but they're not gonna win a title this year. They got the boy. Chet is a rookie.
So okay, but he's balling. They got Chet, they got Giddey. Giddey ain't getting locked up. They let him slide for what he did. You got Chet, you got Giddey, you got Dort, you got Gilgeous Alexander. Like, man, come on, bro.
I'm telling you, young teams.
You got you got your boy Isaiah Joe. Like, bro, they got talent on that team.
All young bulls, all gonna be good eventually. They may have a chance even next year, the year after. They're not gonna win this year. Just not gonna happen. And
so is Milwaukee? So do you think Milwaukee? You think Milwaukee's in trouble?
But at least they got shooting. They can shoot.
Milwaukee has lost one less game than us. They're we a game and a half behind Milwaukee, and this is without Embiid playing. See, this is what I'm saying about. This is what I'm saying about. We got to look at perception.
No,
I think Chet is better than Wemby too.
I do. I think we all agree with that.
Wemby might hold on. Let me see. You said the Western Conference. Let me see. Western Conference. Okay. So right now, Minnesota, who lost to Boston tonight, Minnesota's leading the West. Then you got OKC. You got Denver. I guess Denver don't count either. You got the Clippers. You got Sacramento. The Pelicans are 6th. Dallas is 7th. Phoenix 8th. Lakers 9. Houston 10th. Utah 11. Golden State is 12th. At 17 and 20, and you telling me that you're going to mortgage whatever you got to bring in a player that's going to be a free agent?
As if you got,
and you don't have money, and you don't have money because you're paying Clay this big contract, and ain't nobody taking that contract off your hands.
I don't think did they even resign Clay yet?
How much?
I don't think he signed. No, I still. If Golden State if they want to commit, shoot, they committed to the bull that they traded. I like our chances. I do. I think that the Sixers, if they want to make a chance, if they feel like they.
Oh, you're right. This is Clay last year. This Clay last year.
Yeah,
this is last year on the contract.
He wants a long-term
deal.
Yeah,
this is last year. So I mean, but
so you have to risk it all, but like, you know what? We're just gonna wait till the NBA season, the trade deadline, and possibly.
No, I think that you keep on. I think that you keep on shopping. I want no parts of Klay Thompson. I think you keep on shopping, and you trying to find a deal. But I'm not gonna let somebody fleece me. I'm not letting somebody fleece me on a deal.
Well,
when I got.
I don't think that wasn't an option to trade now to get fleeced. I thought you still.
Well, if you trade now, you're getting lesser value if you make a trade now.
But you're getting that continuity that you may need to make a deep run.
So if you bring in the Siakam, don't he know this system already?
So, bro, you're still gambling because he's still on the trade block.
What you mean?
He's an unrestricted free agent, so he can go anywhere after February. Then there's nothing that Toronto could do.
But I'm fine with that because guess what? If he goes somewhere, then you still have money.
But the point is, you got a chance to. If we don't trade, Tobias comes off the books, and we don't get anything for him right now. That's a lot of money that we could trade. That's a piece right there. That's money. That's a contract. That's $30-something million that we could trade for a legit player that can help us with a title run.
Maybe we go out and get LeBron and tell him we're going to draft his son. LeBron a free agent.
Or
Brian, listen, Brian a free agent. Brian, I don't think Brian leaving LA. Brian a free agent, and Brian definitely wants to win more titles because he at the end of that career. How you know Brian won't come here?
Made money. I like these two suggestions. Brogdon, Grant. I know Grant has a lot of money left on his deal, so it would be a commitment to him. Like we would be committing 3 to 4 years.
DeMar DeRozan going to be a free agent. Quickly going to be a free agent. Harden going to be a free agent. And OG going to be a free agent. OG got a player option. Who's to say OG wouldn't want to come here? Well, Nick Claxton, I wouldn't want him. D'Angelo Russell, Malik Monk, Caldwell Pope. Now I'm just naming Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges is a free agent this offseason.
Does he play? What are you doing
now? He is Charlotte now, but he's a free agent. I think he had some kind of issues or something going through with something, I think. So I'm saying is if we go into the offseason, I'll take Miles too. If we go into the offseason with flexibility where we can still sign and we're going to sign Maxey. We know we're going to
waste the season. So we shouldn't just waste the season.
But I'm not saying just waste the season. What I'm saying is if we go out and we get somebody like I would love to have Jeremy Grant on this team, honestly. I'd take him over Toby. But I'm saying if we go out here and we go out and make a trade like for Siakam, and Siakam happens to walk, or if we keep Tobias and Tobias walks, we have cap space. We got cap space. So I'm saying we can still go out and make moves.
But then who you gonna bring in? If you got
I just gave you a list of names of people that's free agents in the offseason.
But are they gonna get you over the top?
If Miles Bridges, man, he got to get his off the court. Miles Bridges is a beast. I bring in Miles Bridges in the offseason, and you might be able to get him at a discount because of his issues.
I don't see how you would get to play him with Embiid though.
Why not? A power forward, a legit power forward. Man, I'll take Miles Bridges next to Embiid all day long.
I'm not saying I wouldn't want. I'm just saying Embiid got to be willing to sacrifice. I don't know if he's ready to do that.
Your boy Buddy Hield is a free agent coming up.
See, if I'm the Sixers, I would actually try to trade for him right now.
Dinwiddie, a free agent coming up.
Because that's a real shooter.
You think the Sixers? Well, of course, the Sixers got a whole bunch of free agents coming up. But one of the he is, and I ain't worried about the Wagners. I'm just saying, it's options, it's stuff out there. I'm not pressing the panic button right now. We number 3 in the East, a game and a half behind the Bucks, and we doing this without a beat.
You need to look at it. As the third team, as we construct it right now, can we beat any team for an NBA title right now? Can we compete with the Bostons and the Milwaukee Bucks?
If Embiid's playing, yes. If Embiid's playing, yes.
I don't know about
that. Yes.
Because we have.
I do.
You're going based off. If you're going based off of the past, then no.
Don't have a new coach in a new system. We didn't upgrade coaching.
Yeah,
we didn't upgrade coaching. We didn't upgrade coaching.
The coaches don't play basketball.
But coaches make adjustments to put your team in a position to play solid basketball.
Embiid has done the same thing. He do the same turnovers, high turnover type dude. He's still the same thing. 6 turnovers.
So in your opinion, we got no chance of winning anyway.
If we make the right trade, we do.
See, you always about big names and just want to be big.
I'm not.
Remember when you wanted Kyle Lowry? We need to trade for Kyle Lowry.
I guarantee
Kyle Lowry like 50 years old. You want to trade for Kyle Lowry.
Had we traded for Kyle Lowry,
we still wouldn't have won nothing. We still wouldn't have won nothing.
They would have went to Toronto. He would have went to Toronto. He just would have went to Toronto. They would have won the title. So yes. Anyway, we out. We got a game Friday. I think we play the Sacramento Kings. So that should be a good game. So we'll be back. It's on ESPN actually. I ain't know empty house either. All right, y'all.
They don't love him.
Like, comment, and
Him in the
subscribe.
garage.
Get y'all the next podcast.